Hello, my name is Phil Herman. I'm Superintendent of Hudson City Schools, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this week's Monday Message. I want to thank so many of you that participated in last week's Spirit Week through the hashtag WeAreHudson on Twitter and on Facebook. It was so much fun to see your activities, your families, your workspaces, your tropical wear, and of course your school spirit and your explorer pride. Thank you for joining in the fun as we continue to express our Hudson spirit in our schools. I also had the opportunity last week to join with Mrs. Lukenbiel's class in a Zoom class, and I'll tell you what, that experience was fascinating because our students were amazing. The way that they engaged with one another, that they jumped right into their learning, that they were doing their reading parts and conducting their character voices online with one another. But participating in that also really gave me an appreciation for the challenges that our students, our parents, and our teachers are facing as they try to reinvent learning in that remote way. Of course, there are the normal technology challenges, but there's also the challenge of when a puppy or a pet walks in front of the camera and you instantly lose the entire attention of 24 second graders in just a moment like that. There are siblings, there are toys, there are the normal delays that come with interacting via web video. And so, again, I want to express my appreciation to our parents and to our teachers and to our students who are all working together to try to provide meaningful learning experiences under some really strange and different circumstances. So many of our teachers have expressed to me their appreciation for the amount of support that they're getting from our parents and the ways that our parents are helping to keep the learning experiences moving for their students and for their children. So thank you for that. Governor DeWine made a big announcement today that school buildings will remain closed and that students will continue remote learning for the remainder of the school year. So we've been expecting this and we've been planning for it, yet it certainly brings a mix of emotions. On one hand, we're grateful that the governor is taking actions to keep our students safe. But on the other hand, it's very sad that our students aren't going to be in school for the remainder of the year because we know that this is not what school is meant to be. But we're going to continue to work to provide meaningful remote learning experiences, and there's a whole variety of other topics that we're working on or planning around. We certainly want to provide student celebrations, and we're going to be thinking about ways that we can celebrate our students' learning throughout the year, not only for our seniors, but for all students who have accomplished so much this school year. We know that our buildings are filled with students' personal items, and so watch for communication from us in the coming weeks about the processes that we'll follow in order to enable students to come in and retrieve those items, of course following CDC guidelines and social distancing requirements. We're also preparing and planning to move and pack 8 grade levels this summer, and so we'll be working with our staff and our movers and finding the ways to, again, appropriately within the guidelines, make sure that we are ready for those moves this summer. This announcement today brings many more questions than it does answers, and so I would encourage you to, again, get on the remote learning webpage and under Ask a Question. Keep bringing us your questions, and we will work to answer them either through updates like this or through email updates or just getting back to you directly. The longer this shutdown goes on, we know that it becomes more and more difficult for some families. We know that some members of our community and some of our parents have lost their jobs. And I want to just encourage you again, I will say this in likely every video, do not hesitate to reach out to help. Contact Julie Schultz, our social worker, at 330-653-1443, or Kim Saborik, our business and nutrition services supervisor, at 330-653-1208. or any of our guidance counselors, our administrators, our teachers, staff, or me. If you're in need of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask for help. There are resources available and we can help you in this time. People have asked me about school construction projects, and I'll conclude with this today. Our school construction projects continue to move along. The stay-at-home order in Ohio exempted school construction, and so with appropriate precautions in place, schools have been allowed to continue moving, and Hammond Construction has put those precautions in place, naming a COVID-19 site coordinator, putting in hand sanitation stations, using restroom trailers with running water, putting in workplace sanitizing protocols, and following the CDC guidelines of masks and social distancing and reporting of any illness. And so our projects are on schedule. We're set to move into Ellsworth Hill addition in mid-May, or get occupancy in mid-May. Our middle school project is on schedule. We are watching a couple possible delays in materials and in loose furnishings, and we're going to continue to monitor those over the coming weeks and months. We are still moving out of Eastwoods and McDowell this summer, and preparing to move those students into the old middle school for 1 year, while those buildings will be renovated and the addition will be built onto Eastwoods. So last week we were able to capture some photos of Ellsworth Hill and the middle school, and I want to share those with you here today. First of all, some photos and images from Ellsworth Hill edition. You can see the classrooms there, a few examples of our classrooms, the hallways, our cubbies, and an example of a bathroom entrance there. We're also able to put these images together for a middle school construction video. And I want to thank Cheryl Sheetsley, Manager of Communications, for helping me gather some images, and Andrew Robitaille, the high school media specialist, for taking some 360-degree views. And I think there's a link in the email with this video that allows you access to see some of the areas of the school in 360-degree views. And then I want to thank Jack McCormick, one of our middle school students, for continuing to provide us with the coolest drone videos of Hudson Middle School featured in the video. I want to thank you again, parents, for your support, and I want to encourage you to please continue over the coming weeks to communicate with your teachers and administrators with the questions that you have. It's really important in times like these that we look to the future with optimism, and one of the best ways that we can do that is think of these new facilities and these new buildings and all of the experiences that our students are going to have for decades to come. And now I cannot wait to get our students back together, and I know that we have to be patient for that right now, but when we look at these videos, these images of what's to come, it makes me tremendously excited for the future of Hudson and for the future for our students. And so I'll leave you with that today. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will talk to you next Monday. I hope that you have a safe and healthy week. Thanks.